You're listening to Ministerium Radio. I'm your host, Nick Coffey, still a bad boy. You know, folks, staying cool is a state of mind. You can be cool in any color, shape, and size you want. Example, I got my ear pierced. Does it hurt? Absolutely. 5 days straight and it hasn't stopped hurting or getting bigger. Tonight is very special, folks, because tonight we get to bear witness to a blood moon, or what is known as a total lunar eclipse. This happens when the sun, earth, and moon are neatly aligned, with the moon behind the earth's umbral shadow. Due to this, the reflected light from the moon is refracted by the earth's atmosphere, which results in the red color of the moon. This phenomenon is known as Rayleigh scattering. It's the same thing that makes sunsets red and beautiful. Of course, I'm stuck in here, but I urge you to go out and take a look at the splendor that is astrophysics. The first entry tonight is a story from an anonymous writer, and it's a pretty cool one, because it's about werewolves. Werewolves are rad. I was 15 when I first learned about it. My mom explained it all to me. I didn't just have childish dreams of being a wild dog, ripping my sheets and pillows in my room to shreds. My dad was a bastard. Not because he handed lycanthropy down to me, but because he ran as if he was deadly afraid of me afterward. Maybe he was. Wherever he is, he can stay there. At first I had trouble controlling it. Imagine getting a boner in class, except your boner is actually a wild animal, trying to rip its way out of your skin. I took to hiking in the woods on weekends, and letting the beast come out for a few days at a time. It helped. I knew I could go somewhere on the weekends to take care of it. I got my first kiss at 19. Laugh if you want, but that's what happened. I was afraid if I was to kiss a girl, something would trigger the wolf inside me, and I'd tear off her face. I know, why would that even happen? I couldn't take the chance though. What if I hurt somebody? When I was 24, I moved away from home, into the city. I wanted a programming job. But when I got it, I wanted nothing more than to get rid of it. The beast wanted out more and more. I'd take raw steaks into the basement of the building I lived in late at night, just to keep it together. Rumors started to spread about the monster in the basement. Kids would dare each other to go. No one ever did. I remember the day I decided to go. My daily meals included 5 pounds of raw meat, and I'd ripped a lot of my shirts. Some days I'd just come home and scream into a pillow, and for a second I'd consider letting go right then and there. That is how my shirts ripped. I needed to go somewhere, so I took a hike on a long weekend. The forests were new and unexplored, so part of me was smiling at the thought of some freedom out there. First day was amazing. After 15 hours of walking, I knew I was somewhat free to do my thing. The sun had set. I stripped down and went wild. I met other wolves, but I couldn't speak to them. We simply respected each other. I wanted to join them on their hunt, but I didn't want to impose. I ate well and slept well for the first time in a long time. Second day was something else. I had nothing to do. No lines of code to pull out of my head, and I loved it. I killed time just having fun. I learned a lot. Werewolves can climb, but we're not very good at it. More interesting with enough time spent as the beast. I had more control. I don't think the beast had tried to be a puppy before the long weekend. By sundown, I was actually craving some chicken nuggets. I hadn't wanted those in years. I heard the guy before he thought I did. He was stepping carefully, and he knew I would have a hard time seeing him in the darkness, seeing as I had my fire going. I greeted him, then he pointed his gun at me. I could hear it was a gun, but not which kind. He demanded my money and every valuable I had, $17. It was enough for me, but apparently not for him. He berated me, pointing the gun in my face and demanding I take off my clothes. I don't care what you are, werewolf, vampire, or space alien. When someone points a gun in your face, it's scary. I puked all over my legs. It might have been the raw meat, or maybe he just had delicate senses. Whatever it was, he recoiled. I read somewhere that prey animals like hares make use of chances like this. The second the predator averts its gaze, the hare runs for the hills. When the predator looks back, the hare is gone. I think that's what happened. Before he could properly look back at me, my teeth were in his throat. I wasn't done transforming, but the beast was already at the wheel. Blood poured into my mouth. It ran down my fur and made it wet and heavy. It was the first time I had killed a person. Even if it was self-defense, I had always dreaded this day. What I didn't know was that it would be the best day of my life. I knew what I was, and I was okay with it. It was okay to be me. It's nature. If you point a gun at a predator, it might eat you. I knew I would never come back. I have a message for my mom. Karen, I'm alive and happy. I love you, but I have to be true to myself. Signed, your little wild man. That was, really touching. I'm just gonna take this thing off. I'm okay with being me. I think we should all be. I think we can learn a lot from the monsters out there. If you can lock Shiva in a little box and speak to him, you should take the time to listen as well. Sometimes, maybe we're the monsters. Sometimes it's the canary that eats like the vulture. And sometimes it's the nightingale who hunts like the eagle. Hans Christian Andersen wrote of a nightingale once, and it's still one of my favorite stories. I'll give you the short version. The Emperor of China, who lived in China, had the finest of things, gold and jewels and everything lavish, but when he heard of the bird who heavenly sings, he decreed that he must have it. A handmaid fetched the bird, which did sing, and took the ears of those who could hear. And although it sung loud, soft, and clean, it was replaced out of nothing by a machine. When the machine did break and it couldn't bear on, the nightingale and feathers were long since gone. The emperor wailed for his broken heart, and died soon after without the song. I just realized, listener, I forgot to take my anti-rhyming medication. Sorry about that. There will be no more poetry on this station. So, what's the moral of that one? Real birds are better than robot birds. I know all about that, believe me. Also, don't put your faith in the admiration of others. The audience is fickle, so you gotta play that accordion for you and you alone. That accordion is going to become one with you, and you'll become a nightingale. That way, maybe when you're gone, someone will die of a broken heart. Maybe. Hopefully not. It's not nice to wish death upon anyone. Not even centipedes. Centipedes are fascinating creatures. The word cent essentially means 100, with pede meaning foot. the Latin root word being ped and its Greek counterpart being pod, both meaning foot. Despite this name, they never actually have 100 legs. In times long gone, they used to be enormous, like giant snakes roaming in the young world. Now they're so tiny that they can fit anywhere, even in a human's ear canal. A wandering centipede might come across a sleeping human and find itself near the ear. If so, it'll hear the extremely quiet mechanical sounds from inside the ear and be drawn toward it. Once inside, it will find itself lodged and unable to escape. If the human was to have what the kids call a big-time freak-out, the centipede will go into defense mode, which could cause damage to your eardrum and ear canal. If your ear has been invaded, seek medical help immediately. But Coffee, I hear you screaming in terror, how do I repel the little bastards? The answer is simple: earwax. Earwax has insect repellent and antibacterial properties. It's nasty but true. Let that wax be, listener. It might save you a great deal of discomfort. That's all the time we have for tonight. I'm gonna treat this dangerously infected earlobe. Have a wonderful night, and remember to be yourself. If you have a story you would like to submit for consideration, feel free to send it to the submission email in the description. Also, hit the subscribe buttons and bells and whatever else lurks below this video to stay up on date on future videos.